Um, the NBA Finals, all the games. I watched all the games. Just before saying anything, I'm not even a Knicks or Spurs fan. I'm a Lakers fan. Here's Kobe Nation, right? But when it comes to good basketball or to great basketball, everybody's a fan of those things. I think we can all admit that this year playoff was one of the most exciting ones, one of the most incredible ones. Um, I think that for me, the greatest part of it was definitely the Spurs run and the Knicks, and also Detroit. Why these three teams? Because if you watch basketball for a long time and you follow the playoff and you follow NCAA, what you like to see, and you see, I say NCAA because you see it a lot in the NCAA basketball, the March Madness, underdogs, teams that you wouldn't expect to see win that end up going in and they end up pretty much taking it all home. Um, this year, for me, I thought Detroit was coming out the East. I just felt like, oh, they're greedy, they're motivated, they believe in themselves. They were making it happen in moments where you think they were gone and they would lose, right? For a lot of series, I didn't think the Detroit Pistons had what it took to make it pass, and they went pretty deep, right? Obviously, Cleveland beat them, but I think that also was a waste because Cleveland beat them to then get swept by the Knicks, which I believe the Pistons would have done a better job. But that's me, right? Um, when it comes to the New York Knicks, I love seeing dominance. I love seeing dominance, and also especially when it comes from the team that you wouldn't expect. The Knicks came into the season and they look great. You know, I feel like the Knicks every couple of years they have these great teams where they look great, but they didn't look as good as what they showed during the playoff. New York Knicks organization is really great at putting great teams together, but a lot of time in the past, those great teams don't achieve anything. And I think that now that they tested success, and also what we see in the playoff is like now the key players that they got, they now finally understood how to create a championship caliber team, and you always start with a strong captain. So that was my view for the Knicks. When it comes to the Spurs, hmm, the Spurs is the young guns, the youngins, the guys that they just believe in themselves so much. They believe in themselves more than necessarily even some of what they've showcased. They just believe that they can't make any mistake. They believe that they just can't be stopped, and if they really want it hard enough, they can get it. Obviously, what we've noticed is that this is not true, right? Sorry, I would just want to preface this whole video just saying like these are the three teams that I was really looking forward to see in the playoff. Um, Obviously, they all gave us an incredible show, incredible game, incredible series, and all three teams have an incredible future ahead of them. Pistons are a young team; they did really good. Um, they don't need to get rid of anybody really. I think I would, if I was them, I would run it with the same team, and just play out with the guys and just have them understand what were the key mistakes and what they have to increase in their game. So if I'm Detroit, I'm not touching nothing. For the Knicks, hey, if you work, and if it's not broken, don't fix it. So I would keep the same team, same team. I wouldn't change anybody, right? The Knicks showcased a lot of team in the league the importance of those key players. The Alex Caruso, um, the freaking the Davidova, Jose Alvarado, um, the freaking who's another guy that's Josh Hart. Come on, Josh Hart. Um, I even believe that Michael Bridges. That's where I kind of have him like an elevated version of those like uh, guys that can kind of do anything for you and that won't really give up. Yes, I know you had won a game when you had 0.0 assists, 0 rebounds, 0 everything, but this is not the guy which you can lean on. You can't lean on these guys to be your star players, and sometimes we see a lot of those guys having really good season with some teams that are not necessarily good just because they are good at so many things. They figure it out, but they never have a lot of success on their own because their true capacity would be is always to be that ultimate associate. They're never to be the guy. with the ultimate associate, they'll always do good. I believe if you put Josh Hart on a team and you give him green light for everything, Josh Hart can give you 20, 25 points a game. He could. Will his team win? I don't think so. But is Josh Hart much more talented overall as a player of its own as maybe we think? Yes. But he's never made really to have his own team, right? But when you put a guy like him, a guy like Michael Bridges, a guy like, hey, Michael Porter Jr., you know, you guys can see what I'm going with that. These guys are great extra pieces on your team if you want to win. If you want to win, those are great extra pieces. Now, the Spurs. If I'm the Spurs, if I'm the San Antonio Spurs, out of these 3 names that I'm going to name, 2 of them have to go. They just have to go if you just want to rebuild. There's no if or but. 2 out of those 3 names have to go, and then when you keep the other one, you just figure it out. The coach, Mitch Johnson, De'Aaron Fox, and Luke Kornet. If you're San Antonio Spurs, don't hate me, don't kill me right now. I know you're gonna be like, oh, what? Why Luke Kornet? He played to his role. He tried his best. He doesn't give up. But for what the Spurs need as a secondary big man, he just can't do it. He just doesn't have it in him. That's just not his play style. That's not what. If you want a championship team, Luke Kornet cannot be your second big man. He just can't. And we've seen it. What happened in every series, every team had the same strategy. The moment Victor sits down, it's barbecue chicken time. And he worked every time. They obviously made it to the finals, so they won a lot of games, even though they tried this. But this is also why Victor's minute was so high, and this is exactly why they lost. We're saying Victor didn't perform well, Victor didn't do this, Victor didn't do that. No, Victor was tired. Hey, you're 7-something. Moving around takes energy. All those teams start noticing what? You're a skinny man. They're gonna push you around. They're gonna make everything. They'll make you earn it. They're gonna make sure that anything that you want to do, it's got to be hard. You can still go get it. He still went and got it, but he got tired. And when he got tired, who was there to help him out, to buy him? Sometimes Kornet couldn't buy him 30 seconds, right? So that's another reason why they lost. And they always had a lead coming into the halftime that would just dissipate in the second half. It literally went with Victor's energy. Even though the other players were playing well, their defensive scheme is be aggressive on the guard, and if you get beat, send it to Victor. The moment that sending them to Victor doesn't work anymore because Victor's tired, those guards are going to eat. Because the more aggressive with the guard, the more they're going to foul trouble, they get into rhythm, adrenaline kicks in, and the other team, especially New York, had a lot of rotation guys that they could throw in here and there. Again, my props to Jose Alvarado. Great player. You bought all the minutes Jalen Brunson needed. Every time. Michael Bridges. You did your job. Josh Hart. So, the Spurs, though, if Victor sit down, you are nobody. Nothing. Kelly Olynyk gotta go. Bismack Biyombo gotta go. Luke Kornet gotta go. To me, guaranteed, all 3 of them gotta go. Because they're useless. You're having 3 big men on a team that are useless. You didn't play 2 of them. Why are you keeping them on the team? They don't even give experience to the team, because that's another thing. There's some mistake that the Spurs did, that if you had any vet of any type of leadership or that any type of quality to be able to guide you on what you have to do, that wouldn't happen. So get all 3 men out. All these 3 big men gotta go. If you keep somebody, you can keep Luke Kornet. I'm not super against keeping Luke Kornet. I'm just saying that you're gonna have to have another big man that can give Victor his minutes back, and Luke Kornet is not that guy. If you keep Luke Kornet, then he should be either playing with Victor and you acquire another big to on the bench, or Luke Kornet becomes your 3rd string big man. So that means there's Victor, another big, and then if these 2 guys have a problem, then Luke Kornet comes in. But bigs might be on board, and they gotta go. This was the most useless signing. They didn't do nothing all season long. Pure useless. And even give no knowledge, no nothing. The only thing they did, they come in to try to attack the Knicks, try to attack Caruso. No, get them out. They gotta go. So that's the first thing, Luke Kornet. Mitch Johnson, great coach. Obviously knows how to support his cast, put the right player in the right position, and was also able to bring this team to the final and a first pair for him. Incredible. So I'm giving you those points. You did an incredible job. The problem though, especially coming from a San Antonio Spurs coach, and we got spoiled with Popovich, you would never feel like the Spurs lost any game, any playoff run, anything ever when he was under Popovich, because Popovich had the opportunity to make a good decision and he didn't do it. You would never feel that way. Again, I'm not a Spurs fan, I'm not a New York Knicks fan, I'm just a basketball fan. I'm just watching the games for what it is. When it comes to Mitch Johnson, yo, why did you give these youngins the opportunity to fuck up more than 6 different games? We're talking about what happened in the last game against the Knicks or the game 4. Forget that. That goes all the way back to this against OKC. Why are you allowing these youngins to make key series changing decision and Sub was just calling timeout? Like, what are we doing here? I know we're putting a lot of flame on Darren Fox, but to be honest, yo, when Victor threw the ball in the back of Castle, call timeout when Victor catch that ball. Why are you running? Call timeout. What? When Darren Fox got the ball and ran, call timeout. You're a coach. Call timeout. Why are you letting Darren Fox go for the layup? The fuck? What are we doing here? Why is it that you have timeouts available and you're not using them when it's time to bring you back your team together, talk together, and figure out what's going to be the strategy when you're going there? Especially in multiple games when you're up. Just call timeout, figure a play to be able to run out the clock. And once you do this, they have to foul you in order to get the ball back, regardless. So you're getting free throws. Instead of that, you let this guy go to try to get fouls or whatever it is and end up getting nothing out of it. No singing off the clock. You guys just ran down the clock down for your own self. So the other team could have the last shot. They freaking made it. Shout out OG. And now you guys have no time to make nothing. And you lose. Now you cry. You know what I mean? So that's the problem with the coaching there. If the coach called timeout in those moments, if the coach changed some of those nine up at certain points, you don't see those incredible runs from the New York Knicks. Those runs could be stopped. Another example, and that's going to transition to my other thing. You're going to have to start understanding when to pull out your star player for the youngin that's doing well, especially when you come in stressful situation. Darren Fox, I don't know what happened to him personally. I don't know the guy personally, but this year, this playoff series, he wasn't that guy in the clutch. He wasn't good. He wasn't good under pressure. He wasn't good in stressful moments. He just wasn't. It's not a one-time thing. It just shows you throughout the entire playoffs. Then an Upper, on the other hand, he's a 4-quarter guy. He's a guy to come down the game. He's a guy to figure out something. He's young, but out of all this entire group of youngins, and that's what I would expect from Victor to have, especially being a European player that played pro so early on, that you would be able to know how to kind of navigate in those moments. And he kind of do a little bit, but not really too much. But Dylan Harper, yeah, I can see that your dad win championship. I can see that how you've been trained and taught basketball is a bit different than all these other guys. You understand how every possession is important, and the plays you do are never the plays that I will question. You guys in bonus, why did Harper only get driving to the basket? All you guys are trying to take threes. You're in bonus. You're up. You're shooting threes. You're literally giving the opportunity to the other team. And that brings me to Darren Fox. When has Darren Fox been a good three-point shooter? When has De'Aaron Fox been a good shooter? We're not going to go great. We're just going to be good. I'm not saying this is a bad play. I'm just saying that De'Aaron Fox's game, I've never relied on him being a shooter. Off the catch, off the dribble, nothing. He can make shots, but he's not a shooter. It's the same thing as I could say Dwayne Wade. Let's give an example. Dwayne Wade. Let's go to the ultimate version of what De'Aaron Fox could maybe attempt to be one day in his life. Wade could make shots. Wade, when hot, could make threes, could make clutch shots. He has made a lot of clutch shots in his career. But Wade knew that his bread and butter was his ability to drive to the basket. Drive to the basket, the guy's gonna hit you, you're gonna get fouled, you make your free throw. That was his bread and butter. And here and there, I can sprinkle it with other stuff. Where am I seeing offensive action where the bailout three is De'Aaron Fox when the other team's having a run? What? You have Victor Wembanyama, John Champagny, Stephen Castle, Devin Vassell on the court, and De'Aaron Fox. And the guy taking the three is De'Aaron Fox. Again, same lineup of guys. De'Aaron Fox is going to go and try to attack Michael Bridges on a one-on-one situation for a jump shot. What? You guys acquired this guy for a certain job. I get it. But when the job can be done, you have to be able to make adjustments. That's where the coach is important. So that's what Mitch Johnson. You have to know, yes, we're putting a lot of blame on De'Aaron Fox, but the blame has to be on the coach. You are the one that didn't make the adjustment for what was happening. You, not De'Aaron Fox. He's the player. You're the coach. You're guiding. You're the captain. You're the chief. You're getting wherever the game goes with your player. It's you getting it there. So for me, you failed your team as a coach on display up front. I'm not saying necessarily that get this man out, whatever. Everybody can learn. I'm just saying that this is something that has to be addressed. Again, I'm saying there's 3 people that got to be cut. You could be one of them, and I would understand. Now, De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox. Are you a bad player? No. Are you a good player? No. You're a great player. But a guy like De'Aaron Fox is now stuck in a really dangerous place. And that place is, you're not good enough to be a supermax player. And a championship team, you shouldn't even be a max player. You should be paid well, yes. You shouldn't be a max player. You haven't accomplished anything that warrants you being a max player. Some guys in the league, unfortunately, because you're being put in teams that sucks, you get to flourish into such elite players in terms of single person accolades, single person performance. But when it's time to win, and you're putting in a situation to win, you start seeing that some of these guys, they're not made to be winning. They're not playing winning basketball. I saw a video, and the video was talking about how De'Aaron Fox is in between what a point guard is and a shooting guard. So you're athletic, you attack a lot, you try to get your own, as every shooting guard would do, but you can't shoot. You can dribble, you can beat men and all those things, but you're not a good passer. You're exactly in between what you want from a point guard and a shooting guard, which allows you as a single player to be a really great player. But in a team environment, when it's time to win, nobody really knows where to position you. But when you play with crazy athletes and guys like Vassell, Castle, Champagny, and Victor, it kind of works. There's always something to find. What now becomes a problem is when someone like Dylan Upper comes in. He's a better shooter. He's a better passer. And he's better under pressure. And he costs $50 million more. It's $50 million less. And that's where I feel bad for De'Aaron Fox. Whoever else of the 3 guys that I say that needs to go, I said De'Aaron Fox, Mitch, and Luke. De'Aaron Fox has to be one of them. Because why am I paying the lesser one of my 2 guards 25 times what I'm paying the other one? Makes no sense. I can Literally trade Darren Fox for Giannis, which obviously I don't think Milwaukee would do it, but you could. It would make more sense. Get another guy that's going to make a difference. Yeah, with Giannis and Victor's not going to have those crazy insane numbers anymore, but it's going to be really difficult for any team to score. There's no more point on the paint if you have Giannis and Victor. It's over. Just everybody has to shoot threes. You could get you could get Luka. Like when you really start looking at how much Darren Fox is owned and it's supposed to be paid, and you see now that Harper played, and that's the risky thing when you play pro sports, you're putting yourself in a position where if you let the rookie or the new guy perform too well and now the team starts seeing what they have in their hand, let me develop this young guy into someone better. Because he already performed better than you for the entirety of the playoff. That means if I put a little more effort in Dylan Harper, which is still a rookie, I'm still having a rookie deal for the next 4 years. Next year, Dylan Harper most likely going to be a better player than Darren Fox. If you're looking, again, I'm not talking about if you give them their singular team. I'm saying and a team environment. If your goal is to win basketball, Dylan Harper is 100% a better player than Darren Fox. Dylan Harper, I would choose 100% over Darren Fox, especially after what I've seen there. Why? Dylan Harper is new to the stage. He's new to the NBA. Not Darren Fox. Darren Fox is an experience. He's supposed to be a vet. They got you only for the moment, which in the playoff issue that you fucked up. The only reason they took you is for that. If the Spurs had Trae Young, I believe the Spurs win. If the Spurs had Trae Young, they win. That's what I believe. If you give Spurs a functional Rondo, they win. If you give Spurs Cade, they win. If you give Spurs Donovan Mitchell, they win. If you give, at the end of the day, if you give Spurs any other guard of your caliber or pay range, I think the Spurs win. The problem here was every single one of those runs were damn near led by Darren Fox. Every run. You look at the entirety of what Darren Fox did in the third quarter and the fourth quarter. We're talking about Victor. Hey, let's make something clear. A lot of Victor shot attempts or off of rebounds or bad positioning where he's positioned. The fact that you have a 7'5" big man and you're up by 30 and you don't just run pick and rolls, knowing that the ref will also on your side, that means that eventually Victor's going to go to the line to an infinite possibility of time. And you're trying to take ISO shots. You're a $200 million player. This is a ridiculous decision. And this is what, for me, if I'm a GM, if I'm an owner, if I'm a coach, there's no reason to keep Darren Fox. If you empty Darren Fox, if you package Darren Fox and Keldon Johnson and Luke Kornet to another team, maybe for another team, they're going to be the right pieces. But for what San Antonio Spurs have, what they need is a bench. And Darren Fox, you're the answer to their bench. If they trade you for a couple of key pieces, like I was, now it goes back to what I was saying in the beginning, the Jose Alvarado, the Carusos, the Josh Harts, these type of players for the Spurs are worth way more than Darren Fox, sorry. And you can get 4 of them for the price of one Darren Fox. So you can get an entire bench for Darren Fox. Why don't you offer a trade to Denver for Braun? Like not Braun, like the white guy, right? Or a Bruce Brown, or a freaking hell. At this point, even give them a Duncan Robinson, like. Just get a bench, get a couple. Clint Capela would be so helpful, right? Zach AD. Why don't you go grab Zach AD? Go grab Zach AD and Ja for Darren Fox. Again, another example. If you guys are Ja Morant, you guys are good. Which actually could be a crazy trade, but yeah. Go get yourself a bench and empty the clip with Darren Fox. Because what he showed you is the reason why he really was. He won Clutch Player of the Year, I believe, is because his team was so bad that when they win, they had to be in the clutch time. To be able to qualify for clutch player of the year, you have to record clutch minutes. A team like the Spurs, a team like OKC, Detroit, they don't get a lot of clutch minutes because they win their game early on. The reason why De'Aaron Fox was clutch player of the year, I believe, it's because you're always in the clutch, meaning you're unable to actually beat the teams. You just survive. If you have too many clutch minutes recorded, you're a survivor. That's not a good sign. And again, that's something they're gonna have to work with the clutch player of the year award, where you have to value certain clutch moment more than others. And I don't know how the metric works, but if my team is just bad, so we're always fighting to win by 1 point or 2 points, that's not a good sign for me for another team to come and pick me up, because that means I'm not able to bring my team over the other team. It's always just surviving. I was surviving as the other team. And again, when you're a team that's just bad and you play in the clutch 17 times, okay, sure, 12 of the 17 times I'm going to perform well, because 12 of the 17 times I might play bad teams. But what we've seen now is, against a team like OKC, against a team like New York, De'Aaron Fox is not that guy, and he's already an older player. There's no point to bet on him changing how he sees and understands basketball over just training De'Aaron Fox and than an Harper and be like, hey, you know what? Let's bet on this guy and let's grow from there. Trade De'Aaron Fox for a bench. You guys have no bench point. Kellen Johnson is a great player, I think, right, for what his role is. But a lot of reason why his stats were really great when he was a starter is because he was playing starting minutes. As a guy that now comes from the bench, you also have to go and see like what can he do, how can he perform, especially now that you have 4 or 5 guys that can score and I need the ball. Kellen Johnson, now when he plays, his role is to be a defensive 3-point shooter, which is not. Which again, I would say, hey, you can go grab other guys in the league that could fill in those roles. And the cost of those guys is De'Aaron Fox. And it just makes so much sense. Let me know in a comment what you guys think.